Hey guys, this is Collette Knits, and I'm coming at you from just outside of Toronto, Ontario. It is Wednesday, June the 3rd, and this is episode 9. So, I just thought I would say right off the bat here, because I've restarted this like 10 times, and I'm having a hard time saying into words what I'm feeling, but yeah, I think you guys will get it. I just am so devastated with what's been happening right now, and in the world and in Canada and the United States. The United States is going through a really hard time right now, and I'm just watching and listening and seeing and being an ally for people and trying to support people. And yeah, I just wanted to say that this is a safe place for anybody who wants to listen and watch, and that I support you, and if you don't agree with that, then don't follow, don't watch. I'm sitting here in my white privilege, and I'm trying to educate myself and learn more and listen. So that's been something I've been doing, and yeah, I just want to be there for everybody and help them. So I'm educating myself on how to do that, and it's just been really hard to watch everything going on, and yeah, it's just really tough. So yeah, I've actually unfollowed a couple of people on Instagram who don't have the same beliefs as me, and I'm disgusted by it, really. I understand everybody has their own beliefs, but I'm not going to support that. So I've unfollowed a couple people, and my social media feed is feeling like it's beginning to become more of people that people that have the same beliefs as me. And, you know, sometimes it takes something horrible like this to see the truth in people. So I've been trying to cleanse myself of those. And yeah, if you don't agree with my beliefs, then go somewhere else. So yeah, with that being said, I guess we talk about knitting. It seems really weird to go into knitting from this, but I just wanted to update you guys on that and just come out with that right off the top and say that. So maybe from that we'll go into life update. Maybe that will ease into knitting more. I mean, I don't see how it does, but I'm doing this podcast right now. Maybe today's not a great day for it, but I just feel like I have some things I wanted to talk about and show you. And then, yeah. So as of 2 weeks ago, I was back to work. So that's really good. That's felt nice to be back at work, given me kind of a purpose. I've learned through this whole stay-at-home stuff that I love my job, and it makes me feel great to be working. So feel good to be back at work. With that, I've been very busy. I've gone from, not working for a couple weeks to all of a sudden having lots to do. So that has felt good to be back at work. It's kind of cut into my knitting time. So some of this stuff all of these things were finished before I went back to work. So I'll start with these. These Lucille socks are finished. They're off the needles. And this is yarn from Scrumptious Purl, which is a Canadian dyer. And these are called Lucille. So this colorway is called Lucille, which is a reference from The Walking Dead. And these are going to be for my boyfriend. I'll probably give them to him for Christmas or something. They are made with the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. And they're done toe up, Fish Lips Kiss Heel, and then just a nice rib through the back loop. Twisted rib, I think it is. So those are done and off my needles, and I like those. The next thing that I finished was my 3-color cashmere cowl. And I made this with all yarn from Hey Sister Yarn Co. This was all yarn from some other clubs that they had, and unfortunately they're not dyeing anymore, but they did have some beautiful yarn when they were. So this is in their this is in their sock base. And I have more info on Ravelry. But yeah, it's just like a really nice light pale pink, the gray. This color here is like white with different specks of color. I really liked this knit. It's by Locatelli, and I know that she has a shawl version of it with the same stitch patterns and in a crescent shaped shawl. That is definitely something I'd be interested in knitting, because I really liked it. It was very enjoyable, so that was nice. And I still have some leftovers of all the yarn, so I'll probably add that into a cozy memories blanket or something else. And then another thing I finished, which I will try to put a photo of or a little video of, I finished the Spindrift shawl by Helen Stewart from the Curious Handmade, and I'll try to put a photo in here if I can. I'll figure it out. Last podcast I did some editing, so I feel a little bit like I can handle that now. So somewhere in here there's a photo or a video of the shawl. And this shawl meant so much to me. It's a shawl from Helen Stewart from the Curious Handmade podcast. You can find the shawl if you sign up for her newsletter on her website, and you can get a free pattern, which is this shawl, the Spindrift shawl, and also a workshop on how to knit the shawl and different things and tips and stuff. So it's a great free pattern, and especially if you want to try just a fingering weight single skein shawl. You could use heavier weight as well, but I used fingering weight. And the yarn I used was a yarn from the Knitting Loft, and it was Primrose Yarn Co. in her sock base, and the colorway is called Havana. So I made this shawl for my grandmother, my Oma, who lives at a retirement home, and she, like other retirement homes in Canada, they are not accepting visitors, and it's been that way for the last, I think, since the end of March, and now we're in June. So I finished it in April, and I think it's the quickest I've ever knit anything. It felt so meaningful. Every single stitch had so much love in it. And the way that the pattern is written, you can see the percentage of how far you've gone. So I would try to do at least 10% of the shawl a day. And it was done off my needles so quick, and we drove it over to my Oma's retirement home after I washed and blocked it and took photos and gave it to the nurses outside to give to her. And she got her little shawl package and was so excited. I wrote on a little note saying, this is a shawl to give you a hug until we can give you a hug again. And she called me right away, almost in tears, saying that it's beautiful, she's going to wear it to dinner, and then she hasn't taken it off since, I think, because we went and did a window visit, and she was wearing it, and she was telling all the nurses, that's my granddaughter that knit the shawl. And I guess when my cousins talk to her, she always brings it up. So they always tell me she brings it up when they talk to her, which is really sweet. So that shawl meant so much to me, and it means so much to her, and it just felt so nice to knit that and get it off the needles and off to her. She used to be a knitter back in the day, but hasn't knit in a very long time. So she really does appreciate all the work that goes into a knitted item. Yeah, so that's it for finished objects. And so for my works in progress, I'm working on another baby vertebrae. We got a lot of babies coming in the family, so this is a baby vertebrae in fingering weight yarn, and it is hedgehog fibers in the budgie colorway, and it's in a sock base. I think that's a better lighting there. I wish I could figure out the best lighting situation for this room, but yeah. So this has like a little hue of purple to it and light blue and little blips of like green and black. And in the cake, I didn't think it had so much black in it, but knit up, I see that it does. I still think it would be it will be a great baby cardigan. And I think it's kind of unisex because there's little bits of blue and purple, and I just think it's a really nice color. So this is Budgie by Hedgehog Fibers. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of the base so much. I think I like a plumpier, squishier base. And I do have a couple more balls of Hedgehog Fiber in this same base. So I'll see what I can do with them, but I do think that they make good baby garments because it says that they're machine washable. I'm sure that's arguable, but it says it's machine washable, so I feel like it's kind of baby friendly. We'll find out. Yeah, so that's good, and it's actually a piece of yarn that's been in my stash for years, so I'm glad to get that out of the stash when it's done. And then I also joined Lolodidit's Summer Sock Cal. So Lolodidit is Lauren from the company Lolodidit, and she has a sock pattern called the Summer Sock. And it's just a shorty sock, and she's got different ways of how you can do the cuff and the heel and then the toe. So I did a rounded toe on this, and these are going to be for my sister because they are too small for me. But I joined her sock knit along, and we're using the app called Discord, which I had never used before, but I think it's a great app for if you're hosting a knit along or something. It just has been really good to chat with everybody and see everybody's version of this sock. So the other kind of cool thing about this is everybody in the group is using only Lolodidit yarn, and she has some amazing yarn. I have a lot of it, and including all of her Hippos collection, I'm just obsessed and have so much of her Hippos collections. So it was kind of nice to see the other colors that people were using to get an idea for how some of her other colors will work up. So this yarn I'm using Hippos for Summer 2019, and the mini, I think I'm blanking on the mini name. I think it's Material Girl. It's just a hot pink mini. And this is in her plump sock base. And I really like this base. And this would actually be an amazing base for a baby garment because it is plumpy. It's a little thicker. It's like a heavier fingering weight, I think. You can just see how nice the stitch definition is on this versus the baby Vertebrae. It's just beautiful stitch definition. But you know what? These socks are going to get way more hard wearing than this baby cardigan because this baby cardigan will not last forever, and babies are somewhat cleaner than feet. So yeah, this is nice. And I started my second one, and I have until June 15th to finish it, which I think will be no problem. And this is what the second one looks like. It's a little bit fiddly to do a shorty sock at the beginning, but it all comes together, and it's way quicker than any other sock I've ever done. So I'm liking those. My sister tried on this one, and she liked it. And I'll have way more leftovers to do maybe another pair or two with different minis. So I have a nice mini that's like bright orange called Troll Hair from Lolodidit, and I have another fluorescent yellow one that's called Sunglasses at Night. So maybe I'll make 2 more pairs of shorty socks with that ball of yarn. So yeah, that's that. If you guys haven't checked out Lolodidit stuff, it's great. I highly recommend it. I love the Hippo collection. And then I've started a little cuff for a sock that will just be so far I've done the ribbing, or started the ribbing. I think I'll do a little bit more ribbing. And this is a Regia Perfect color. It's gray, navy blue, and some solids of like red, gray, beige. It's kind of boring. Those colors do not appeal to me. It's super boring, but these won't be socks for me. These will be a man sock. And that's 72 stitches on there, and I've just been knitting away on that when I can. But yeah, it's kind of just like my plain vanilla purse sock for when I'm traveling and running around, which I'm not really doing right now, so it's not getting much love. But that's okay. Next, since we're on the sock topic, I have gotten to a point on my scrappy socks where I could begin the heel. So naturally, they have just stopped being knit on because I have to do something else that requires concentration. But here they are. I love it. It's so crazy. But at the same time, it kind of looks like it goes together because it's all different shades of like blues and purples. So it kind of looks like it could be planned in a self-striper, but it's not. It is totally scrappy. It is a planned scrappy because I am picking the colors. I'm not just randomly picking, and I'm dividing the balls in half and knitting them at the same time, but like not at the same time, but in tandem. So just like an array of different scraps from my Cozy Memories blanket. Yeah, so I really like these and I feel good about them. But I'm not so crazy about the magic knot ball join I'm doing on them. So maybe when after I do the heel, I will do something else for their join. So these are kind of fun. And, oh, excuse me, Jasper just walked in here. I thought it was a person, but it's not. So yeah, those are fun. And for the heel on these, I will do the same brown that I have done for the toe. And I'll probably continue with this brown for the cuff. I love doing toe-up socks because I can knit the foot to whatever length it needs to be, and then do my fish lips kiss heel and knit my leg however long I want. So depending on how much blue leftovers I have, I might knit the leg super long or average or not long at all. We'll see. But I'm really enjoying those, even though I haven't really done much on them since I think when I started them and I last podcasted, there was like very little knit on them, and I did really enjoy working on those. So I think scrappy socks are going to be a thing of the future for me, and I'll continue doing them. Another thing I kind of have been like really excited about, and it's kind of taken a back seat just because I really need to do this baby knitting. And I really need to do this baby knitting, and I'm doing the Knit Girls Stash Dash. And I know that there's a way that you can figure out how to make Stash Dash count for scrappy projects and things like mitered square projects, but I don't want to do that much thinking. So if you guys have a way that you've done it and it worked, let me know. But my squares are kind of just taking a back seat. And I'll just do this every once in a while, come in and out of it. I really like it. It's so wild and crazy. And I think I'm working on it down here somewhere. So there is no rhyme or reason of this blanket, and it is great because I can sit it on my lap while I work on it, and everybody in my family loves it. So trying to do more of that. Maybe that's something I'll finish like next year, this time next year for Stash Dash. Maybe after Stash Dash this year, if I work on it all year, I could actually finish it and finish it in Stash Dash this time next year. Maybe. It's a lot of planning for a no stress project. And I'm just using minis and leftovers from this basket. This basket is from my Oma's house, and this is what she used to keep her knitting in back in the day when she would knit and cleaning out her house to sell it. We found it, and I snagged that up pretty quickly. So my cute little basket. And it's very narrow, so it fits well in places. Yeah, so that's fun. I have way more minis than what's in this basket. I'm just trying to wind up some at a time to do it. Yeah, so that's exciting. And I think the only other thing is my Helen Stewart Living in My Zigzag Stitches bag. This is the snow melt. Oh, sorry. This is the dust of snow wrap. Oh, and the really cool thing about this is if I finish it by the end of August, which is when Stash Dash is over, I could enter this into Stash Dash, and it would be ×2 because I'm holding 2 pieces of yarn together for mohair and fingering weight. Now, we're on to color. We're about to begin blending in color 4. So I need to maybe buckle down and work on this. But it's not as important as all these baby things. But it's fun. I like it. Somewhere along here, right over here, I kind of fudged up my numbers a bit. And had to do some fancy footwork. But it's fine. I don't know what I did, but I did something weird where I think I had a couple too many extra stitches. Here it was. I didn't have enough stitches on the pink and added them on to the purple. And it might give the shawl a weird look. I don't know. I think it would block out, and by the time it's really done with, it's not going to make a big difference because it's going to be wrapped around you anyway. So this is interesting. I'm knitting it with Lizzie Ann Yarns is the fingering weight, and I'm using their 2018 advent calendar. So everything is, labeled with the day. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll just, make it so everything's cohesive and goes together. But I don't really have an eye for color like that. Like, some people have a really good eye to put yarns together, put everything together, and just make it beautiful. I like to buy things that are already done like that, like put together, like, oh, this fade set is already put together. Great, I don't have to think about it. I don't really have an eye for it. So I just thought I'll do all the numbers in order. So like 1 to 24. 1 to 24. And I saw a photo of this exact shawl from Lizzie Ann Yarns with the same exact mini set. So I liked the way that shawl looked, so I was okay with it. And I do. I like it. It's all different colors. It's going to be all different colors. It's going to be kind of cool. And the mohair with it is neat. I do not like ripping back mohair, which I've had to do on one of these lace parts. I think at one point I had to start. I think I had done the purple and then I had to restart. And I was picking back, and then I was just like, no, I'll just rip it all out and restart it. And that was not fun to have to rip back mohair. And mohair likes to get stuck in your lip gloss. So I do like it, though. It's very squishy. It's very, very soft. And it adds a whole different texture and like drape to your garments. I have some mohair, some other mohair, so maybe mohair will be a thing that I work with in the future. I think it will be. I am using Sugar Bush Drizzle. This is great. It's also Canadian, and it is perfect price point if you just want to try it out, which is originally what I had done. I had got this from the Knitting Loft to try out, and then this shawl came along, and then I had to buy some more. 2 more little skeins of it to make the, have enough for the shawl. So I like it. It is 76 super kid mohair and 24% silk. 25-gram ball. So I really like it. I'm totally happy with it. It just hasn't gotten much love. It has gotten love since you last saw it, I think, but time to put that back in the rotation. So I heard or read somewhere, I think it was the Salty Joe Knits podcast. She has this little thing where she'll put a little card or like a piece of paper in her project bags and say the last date that she worked on it, just so she knows roughly when she last worked on something. And I think I'm going to start doing that and maybe put any notes about the project I have, writing it on that card. Right now I'll just write it on a scrap piece of paper and throw it in my knitting basket, and who knows where it goes. So I think I'm going to start doing something like that. I like it. It's a good idea. And yeah, that's it for knitting. I wanted to just show you guys a bag that I bought. This is a bag from J. Hendry Designs, who would have been at the Toronto Knitters Frolic, but that was canceled. Okay. Maybe this is what my Cozy Memories blanket will end up going into, or a future baby blanket, because I need to make a baby blanket, or 3. So if you have any good baby blanket ideas, I'm going to make it with heavier weight yarn just so it goes a little bit faster. I have a couple skeins of Barocco Chunky that I think I'm going to use for one baby blanket, all in one color. And I have an idea, but we'll see. I'll have to read the pattern a little bit more. But here is what it will go into. Check out this monster bag. On her website, it was, obvious that it was a monster bag, but I didn't realize how much of a monster bag. Like, I think I could fit one of my dogs in here. Seriously, it's huge. Okay, that gave me an idea. I can fit one of my dogs in here. It's that big. This dog is 20 pounds. It's that big of a bag. Okay, so it's got our little... Oh my god, he's snorting into the microphone. Okay, it's got our little poles here, which are huge, and will loosen up with use. It's got a carrying strap right here. And yeah, it's huge, and I like it because if I was to travel or move around with my Cozy Memories blanket or a huge project like a sweater, usually at home I would put those in a basket, but I'm not like getting in the car with a basket full of yarn and project to travel with. So this bag will be great. So if you guys are interested, check out J. Hendry Designs. This is like the biggest size bag that she has. And it can fit a small dog. So I think you need one too. Yeah, so I think with that being said, we will log off here. I'll try to put show notes, and if you want to find me, I am Collette Knits on Ravelry, Collette Knits on YouTube, which is where you found me, and Collette Knits on Instagram. Same spelling everywhere as it is in my YouTube channel. So yeah, enjoy, and happy knitting everybody, and please stay safe.